this super duper cute card using the technique Junkies arguing with the woman stamp set from the new July release. So to start off, we are going to go ahead and take our white cardstock and do some ink blending. And I am using Distress Oxides, Seedless Preserves, Peacock Feathers, Twisted Citron, Picked Raspberry, Spice Marmalade, and Mustard Seed. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves prepped and ready to go. I have these really cute blending brushes by Tailored Expressions, and I'm using this blot stencil by Technique Junkies. So let's get our area prepped, and we're going to start with some blending. I'm going to go ahead and peel the stencil off. And whenever you are blending, you do have some residual ink left on your brushes. So I am using the blender brushes without adding any additional ink and going over the areas that represent these colors. So I'm filling in the white space with the same colors I've used, with a little bit of overlap, just keeping in mind it's sort of doing it in 6 different sections to show all 6 colors. So a fun blending technique that you can do with any stencil that you have. All right, so next up we're going to go ahead and use our Misty. I don't know what I did before I had a Misty, but I absolutely love it. Allows you to go ahead and stamp in the same exact position, and it's absolutely flawless. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp, and there you go, right in the center. And I did this 3 times. I like to make sure I have a really nice impression and that the black really stands out on top of the Distress Oxide. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this cardstock. And we're going to take this mat and place it directly on a black mat. And that just really makes it pop. So you have your black and your sentiment, and it's a nice correlation between the black mat. And then I decided I wanted to give my card some dimension, so I'm using some 3D foam tape on the back of our mat. And that'll give us just a little bit of extra dimension in the card. And then we're going to go ahead and add this to our A2 size card base. And I decided I wanted to heat emboss the bottom of the sentiment. I really like that it focuses on and click agree, because when you read this sentiment, it reads arguing with a woman is like reading a software license agreement. In the end, you have to ignore everything and click I agree. So I just thought this really accent the fact that we're saying they need to click agree. So super cute sentiment, little snarky. And this will really make the sentiment pop off the page, and it's a focal point on the card. So again, here we're using some 3D foam tape to give that sentiment a little height and dimension on the card. And I'm essentially lining it up right where it would have been on top of the sentiment. Love it. Next up, I decided to add some black splatter. So I'm covering up that sentiment. You know, I could have did the black splatter prior to adding that sentiment, but I honestly didn't even think about it. So in order for me to still move forward with adding the black splatter, I'm going to go ahead and mask that sentiment to make sure I'm not creating any issues with getting a black splatter on it. So I'm using my black shimmer pen and adding a few squirts of water. And yes, I had a little bit of trouble with my squirter. It finally came out. But I'm going to go ahead and get this a little bit wet and just tap right off of my finger. And you can see the splatters coming to life. And I actually just learned this technique of tapping off your finger from my friend Anika. Before, I was doing it on an acrylic block, which is another way you can do it. However, I wasn't getting the best results, so I like what she shared with me. I'm going to pull that mat off, and voila! Finished card. So here's my 2 cards that I made, and you will see this on my blog as well. Thank you.